Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Christy VANN with Fantastic Finances, and on this channel I teach velocity banking. So today I was working with an elderly man who is trying to figure out his debt and he's feeling overwhelmed. But when I saw what he already has in his possession, such as the line of credit, I realized that he doesn't have any problems. He just feels like he does. So let's talk about exactly what kind of issues he feels like that he's having currently. So he has a personal loan at $26,000 with a $378 a month payment. It's for 10 years at 11.99%. You have to understand this man is in his 70s and he's concerned about paying on a personal loan for 10 more years. He shared with me that he had to have a lot of dental work done. It cost him so much money. This $4,050 is just his anesthesiologist bill. That's crazy, right? So he is now in over his head at $30,000 plus of debt that has a total monthly payment combined of $1,078 a month. So he's feeling like he's in a little crunch. But this one is at a 0% for 6 months, but that 6 month ends December of 2023. Guess what? This is the middle of October 2023. So he doesn't have enough time to pay this off before that 0% turns into interest and starts eating him up. But we have a plan because he already has this line of credit in his possession with a zero balance. So he has $15,000 to work with. So he is in great shape and doesn't even realize it. His income is at $47.46. He has $34.65 in expenses every month, and that includes his rent, food, and these expenses. And he has a cash flow currently of $1,281. So knowing that he has the $15,000 available, the very first thing that I suggest he would do, that I would personally do myself, is I would pay off this personal loan. He needs to get rid of that. We don't need to be throwing interest on him at the end of December. We need to be getting that out of his way. So if he takes the $15,000 limit he has and pays off the $4,050, that means that he'll have a balance on his line of credit of $4,050, okay? But what did that do besides just pay off that loan? It gave him $700 in cash flow on top of the $1,281 that he currently has. Now he has $1,981 in cash flow. That's going to do nothing but knock this off, right? But what else can we do? We can take $10,000 of this line of credit and also apply it to here. So now he has a $16,000 balance here. He still has the monthly payment because he's not paid it off yet. But we're going to add the $10,000 that we used to pay down this loan. His balance now on the line of credit is $14,050. Next, he will bring his income of $4,746 and place it all into this line of credit. Now this line of credit is currently at 11%, okay? So we're going to figure that interest next. But what happens when this income goes in? Well, it's going to knock off any payment that he would have for this line of credit. So figuring the interest at 11% on the high balance would be approximately $129, but is he going to pay that? No, he's not going to pay $129 in interest because he is knocking the balance right down with his income, meaning his balance now is $93.04, meaning that that interest charge is going to be less because the banks figure on the average daily balance. But I'm going to go ahead and figure on the high balance, and I'm going to put $129 for his interest on this account, even though it's not going to be that high. So his balance now is at $9,433. Now we can't forget his expenses. He's going to have monthly expenses. Like I said earlier, he pays his rent, his electric bills, his food, his gas. So he's going to have the expenses that he currently has at $34.65. But it's no longer $34.65, is it? No, because when he paid off this loan here, his expenses came down. So you would do $34.65, subtract the $700 that he was currently paying. His new expenses are $27.65. I hope that makes sense. So we will add the $27.65 in his new expenses, bringing his balance to $12,198. Month 2, we're going to do it again. We're going to bring his income into the account, making his balance $74.62. So we're going to have to add more interest for month 2, so I'm going to take that off of the high balance of $12,198. So he'll pay approximately $112 in interest, bringing his balance up to $7,574. Remember, we have to add those expenses in again at $27.65, making his balance now $10,339. So the $10,339 is now the beginning balance at month 3. So his income is going to go into this line of credit again, bringing his balance to $55.93. So we have to add some more interest again, so I'm going to take it off of the high balance of $10,339, and that's going to give him approximately $96 in interest. We're going to add back in his expenses at $27.65, bringing his balance back up to $8,454. This month, we're going to bring in $5,000 more dollars from that other personal loan. So if you remember here, the balance was $16,000, and now it's going to be $11,000 because we're adding $5,000 more into this personal loan, bringing his balance back up to $13,454. We're going to now bring in month 4 of his income. So the $47.46 goes in again, meaning his balance is now $87.08. We're going to add some more interest. I'm going to figure the $13,454 at the 11% interest rate so that we get a charge of approximately $125. We're going to go ahead and add his expenses back in again, which is the $27.65, bringing him back up to $11,598. Bringing in his income again for month 5, $47.46. Bringing his balance down to $68.52. So in month 5, he can add $5,000 more dollars to pay on to that personal loan. That will bring the personal loan down to $6,000. His balance will now be $11,852. So I'm going to take the interest off of the $11,852, meaning that's approximately $109 in interest. Then we're going to add in his expenses again, $27.65 for the month, bringing him to a balance of $14,726. In month 6, his income is going to go in again, bringing him down to $9,980. So I'm going to take the interest off of the high balance at $14,726 times the 11%, which is going to give him approximately $135 in interest. Plus, we'll add in his expenses again, $27.65, bringing his new balance to $12,880. Month 7, $47.46 of income goes in again, bringing his balance to $81.34. We're going to add in the interest, and I'm going to take it off of the high balance for a total of approximately $118 in interest, plus his $27.65 and expenses that he does have to pay. His balance will be $11,017. Then guess what? In month 8, we're going to do it again. $47.46, bringing him to $6,271. Month 8, we're going to add in the interest that I'm taking off of the $11,017. He'll pay approximately $101 in interest. Then he's going to add back in his living expenses, bringing his balance back up to $91.37. In month 9, his income is going to go in again, bringing his balance down to $43.91. We have to add some interest, so I took it off of the high balance, bringing him to approximately $84 in interest for month 9. His balance is now at $4,475. We have to add his expenses in again, bringing him back up to $7,240. In month 10, we're going to bring in his income again of $47.46, bringing his balance down to $24.94. We're going to add the interest. We'll take it off of the $72.40, giving him approximately $67 in interest. Let's go ahead and add in his living expenses again, bringing his balance back up to $53.26. In month 11, his income of $47.46 is going to go in again, bringing his balance to $580. Right here is where we're going to pay off his personal loan in full. So we're going to add in the $6,000, pay off personal loan. That means that this $378 is now gone. The $6,000 is paid in full. He's paid a total of $26,000. His expenses at $27.65 now come down, making his new monthly expenses $23.87. Now we're going to show his balance at $6,580. $6,580 being his new balance, we're going to add in his new expenses at $23.87 plus the interest, which I'm going to figure the interest off of the $6,580, which gives him about $61 in interest, bringing his balance to $9,028. Month 12, his income at $47.46 is going to go in again, bringing his balance down to $42.82. So we've got to add in some interest, so we're going to figure that again off of the $9,028, meaning he'll pay approximately $83 in interest. Plus, we've got to add his expenses at $23.87 again, bringing his balance back up to $67.52. Month 13, his income goes in again, bringing his balance down to $2,006. Do you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking what you're thinking, that wow, he has almost paid this debt off that was supposed to have taken him 10 years to pay off, right? We are at month 13, but let's finish. So I'm going to figure the interest off of the high balance, meaning he'll pay approximately $62 in interest, plus his expenses, $23.87, bringing him to a balance of $44.55. What happens in month 14? What happens in month 14? What happens in month 14? Right. The income of $44.55 is all that is needed for month 14. Now he is at a zero balance. He will now only pay his $23.87 in expenses plus interest of about $41 approximately. This is it, guys. This is it. So he has paid off all of his debt in 14 months. 14 months and about $41 in interest left, and now he is just back to paying his monthly living expenses. When we went over his scenario, he was so relieved to know that this 10-year loan that he was in, where he just had to have his teeth repaired, is going to be paid off in 14 months. He was one happy camper, and I am so happy for him. I am so happy for all of you guys that call me. You run through these scenarios with me. You get excited when you see that you're not stuck in debt forever. You're not 75 stuck with all of this debt, wondering how you're going to pay it off in 10 years. The joy that I hear in your voices brings absolute joy to me. It's not magic, it is just math. We were just not taught how to use the tools that are at the bank for our use. I want you to learn this. I want you to take control of your finances today. Tweak them just a little bit, just like he did. All he did was transfer these loans into a line using his income and cash flow to completely knock that out. I'm happy for him, and I know that you are too. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I have services at fantasticfinances.com if you do need me, but the videos teach you everything you need to know, so you don't need to pay any guru for their information. You've got the information. Take it and run with it. I want to see everyone in financial peace, and I know you can do it. I know you can, and I am so excited to hear your stories. I hope you guys have a terrific week. I pray for each one of you every day, and I am praying that you get this concept as concrete in your mind, change that old mindset, and get on to a great and better life, because guess what? Today is the first day of the rest of your life, and I want you to have the best life ever. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video.